Thank you very much, Beth, for giving me opportunity to interview you for my YouTube channel and podcast and allowing me to tell about your work to my audience.
Well, thank you. Are you kidding? It's thank you. You're the best. I can't believe you asked me. I'm honored.
So I can see you're doing three different jobs. So I thought to tell about your jobs to my audience. So can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Beth Staub. I own Adventure Auto Glass with my husband. I own Adventure Photo Studios by myself, and I am they call me a visiting assistant professor of practice at Northern Arizona University, and I teach photography.
So you're photography expert.
Sure. I don't know if you ever truly can be an expert in photography because it's always changing, but I know a lot and I like to learn.
So can you tell where it started and what made you to come into these professions?
Sure. I was a high school teacher, so I taught television and radio. And then my husband was doing auto glass, and we had a baby girl, and he needed help. And we wanted our daughter to have a parent around, so I decided to help Dave with his business. So we built his business, and then we made an agreement that once Sydney went to college, I would be able to go back, get my master's, and hopefully teach at college. And I'm teaching at college. And I'm getting my master's.
Great.
Because, why not?
So, what made you to come into photography?
I've been doing that since junior high. I started in the yearbook. We had a yearbook club, and so I started with yearbook, and I've been shooting ever since. My dad did have a dark room in our basement, so I've been around photography my whole life. I love it. It makes me happy. Candid is my most favorite. I like to catch people in real life moments with real life expressions and real life smiles instead of the posed. We see a lot of that too, and that's fine. The posed is fine, but the candid is my most favorite.
So, how many skills that you have took in your entire experience?
How many classes have I
Photos,
taken
the photos.
for photography?
Yeah.
A lot. And I still do. I take them every year. I take different classes because what's so awesome is obviously the change from film to DSLR now to mirrorless. I actually had to take a class from my actual camera I just bought. It was a 3-hour class because they're so technical now, which is so interesting to me. And I still don't know everything, but I'm pretty savvy with it. So I take classes every year for photography so that so I can try new things. I don't want to ever get stuck in a rut doing the same thing. And photography, that's an easy thing to do. And so yeah. Plus, I like to give obviously students new and exciting things. They need to know what's up. So
And what is this adventure, other one that you're doing?
the Adventure Auto Glass.
Yeah.
I have my prop. Woohoo! That we replace and repair auto like windshields for your car. Any glass in your car, we can replace or fix it. It's
So
very exciting.
you're doing this from long time.
Yes, since 2005.
So how is this?
Always this?
Yeah,
I
how
didn't
is it
understand.
going and
Oh,
how
how's
is
it
it
going?
going?
Um, I don't know how much you want me to get into the weeds of auto glass. It's a difficult industry. It is what's called unregulated, which means there are no federal standards for it. So pretty much anybody can literally cut into your car. There's no formal training. There's no formal anything. It's just woohoo. It's kind of like the wild, wild west out here. There's a company, a national company that basically is, and if you don't understand, let me know because this gets kind of weird. So we have insurance companies that in Arizona, they will pay for the auto glass when you break your glass. So there's an auto glass company that actually has made best friends with all the insurance companies. So they're what's called the third party administrator. So when you're calling your insurance company, you're really talking to a competitor, an actual auto glass company. It's nutty. They are not only do auto glass and administer for most of the insurance companies, they make the glass and they are worldwide. They're giant and they're huge. And they help teach the insurance companies how to pay less. So it's a very frustrating thing that we're all going through. They're not supposed to what's called steer people to their company, but they do. They try to smush the little guy. It's a beautiful business. Like, they're brilliant. I mean, they're marketing, and they're absolutely brilliant. But it's really difficult to be a small guy in auto glass or gal. It is a difficult industry. It's fine. We've been alive since 2005. We're doing fine. My husband Dave, who is the installer, is ready to maybe do something different. So we're kind of in our what we call fourth quarter. So we're all right. We're fine. If we were to get into the game today, we wouldn't get into auto glass because it's too the payout just isn't the same as it was about 10, 15 years ago. But it's all right. We have good friends like in the industry, and it's entertaining. But Dave is looking for other things to do, and we'll see what happens.
So, what kind of challenges you face in this giving this service?
With auto glass,
Yeah,
the payouts. So what happens is in Arizona, some states are different, and I'm not sure what it is like around the world because this company does take care of auto glass everywhere. But here in Arizona, you can have insurance pay for your glass. So what they're doing is, say, I'm going to use easy numbers for easy math. Say your windshield is list price, which means so it's $200. The insurance company will say, well, we're not going to pay you that. We're going to pay you 50% off, 60% off, 70% off. So instead of that 200, it's now very little. And sometimes our cash prices are more than the insurance prices. But if you have insurance and you bought the insurance endorsement for auto glass, being the customer, you're not going to want to pay cash. We don't blame you. But we're not getting paid. We're losing money doing some of these jobs now. And now there's a thing called molding, the black stuff that goes around your windshield.
yeah.
They're now taking money off of that, which we weren't making any money on that anyway. So now it costs us to buy that molding for your car. Awesome. Yay.
So for all kinds of cars.
Yeah. It's
That's
kind of fun when people call for quotes. They think we have like some crazy cool, like, did you ever watch Monsters Inc.? Do you know that movie?
yeah,
When Sully goes in, it's the huge room of doors.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they think we have that for all the different auto glass. I know they do. Like, hey, do you got like a 1968 Mustang windshield in stock? It's like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's kind of cute. We can get it in a day or two, but it's cute how they think. You got it in stock? I want to come in right now. It's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
And you are a visiting professor also for photography. So how is that? How you are
I love
managing
it.
that job?
I literally am living my best life. I cannot express to you how much I love being a teacher at university level. It is, the students are amazing, and they're so talented, and I wish I had better words because they are just so vibrant and so fantastic. And the creativity that comes out of them, they're amazing. It is absolutely, I get giddy. I seriously do. I drive up an hour and a half to Northern Arizona University, which is in Flagstaff, Arizona, twice a week, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, depending what I need. But I teach Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I am just thrilled. I cannot tell you how much fun I've had. It is such a killer experience and such a great, it's just a great time. It's really, I am literally living my best life right now.
So you are one side you are providing a glass service, and another side you are doing the photography, which is your passion, and also you are teaching that photography in the university. So
Yes.
you're speaking and you are doing photography and you are giving service. So how is this diversity?
I love it. I love it. It's a lot. I have learned in the last year and a half, um, literally take one moment at a time, which probably was a very good lesson for me to learn. And I've also learned to, I've always, not always, but in my older years, I've learned about gratitude and how much you really need to appreciate every little thing every day. And that has that's like on steroids now. I'm so thankful, and I just really enjoy every second because I don't know if I get hired again next year. I hope so. I don't know. So I just really have learned to be in the moment more present. And man, it is hard sometimes. I'm taking 2 classes too, so that is a lot, but it's all in time management, and it's all state of mind. It took me about a year to understand my schedule and not to freak out. I did a few freakouts, but this year is going much smoother, and I have a better rhythm this year, so I feel way more chill and more irie. It's good.
So tell me about your photography skills,
What would you like to know?
what you have done.
I do weddings and I do families. Most of my income, I started this business. I've been a photographer forever, but I started my business because in the town that I live in, I was a high school teacher. A lot of the students don't have a lot of money. We're not a wealthy area. And I really was sad that a lot of these kids don't get senior pictures because they can't afford them, especially if parents have multiple kids. It's a lot and it's expensive and it's just getting crazier and crazier. So I wanted to give them the gift of having a nice senior session, but at an affordable price. So that's why I started the business. So I really enjoy seniors. I love couples. I'll do weddings, but I prefer second weddings, and different types of weddings. The first weddings, that's not my gig, but I have plenty of people I can refer people to. Um, I love events. I love concerts. Concerts are some of my favorite because that is like the epitome of the candid, right? The candid photography of just catching people in the moment. I just did 2 concerts this summer and a wedding. We just did a family session. It was really neat. This family, a student of mine asked if I would do their family pictures, which I was so honored. So I asked her if it was cool if I brought other students to teach them how to do a location shoot, and they allowed that. And it was really fun. It was crazy windy, so they got the real experience of everything tipping over, and because we use big lights, we don't just go out with our camera. We have lights, and I want to teach them how to do a location shoot. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. My favorite, I also do landscape. I love landscape. um, I know the industry pushes people to choose one. I haven't had to, so I'm not going to. I love landscape and I love people, and I love putting people in landscapes. So why not do it? Nobody's told me no, so
So capturing people and giving them the memories, how
mhm.
that feels.
Oh, it's amazing. It's weird. That's a great question. It's weird because if I know the people, then I'll have conversation after. But if I don't know them, they take the pictures and then you don't hear. But in time, you'll see them like maybe on Instagram and it's like, oh, that's my picture. Like a family that I do regularly. We don't talk about it a lot. She obviously hires me every year, so I know I'm doing okay. But I went to their house and she had one of my pictures on a blanket, and I almost cried because I'd never seen that. You know what I mean? I'd never seen, like, I have pictures up. You can't see them, but I do have pictures up. But to see it in somebody else's house that they have printed my work and put it up is really touching. It's really humbling, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
So we as a human beings evolved uh, uh, putting memories in different places and different using different forms of arts. So photography is one of the greatest arts that humans have created, and sharing that memories to the next generation. And you are doing something, very important job. So how?
Aw, I think so. Thank you. I'm glad you understand that because we right now with AI, people are freaking out. I'm not scared of AI because just like you said, AI can't create you and your
Yeah.
friends and your memories. Like AI is not going to do your wedding. You know what it's not going to do your graduation. It's not going to do your family gatherings. I've used AI since Lightroom came out, and I don't think people understand that. Lightroom and any editing software on this bad boy, it's all AI, and it helps us. It doesn't hurt us. It's not coming out to get us. I love it, and I love Photoshop, and I love Lightroom. I love how it can help. There's always, when new updates happen, I get a little worried because it makes it a little too easy. But then when I'm in a situation where I got to get so many pictures out at this time, it's a godsend. So it's a weird relationship with AI. AI cannot make a bad picture good. It just can't. It can save some of the noise, which some people would say that makes a bad picture good. Okay, but it's got to be a well exposed picture in order for it to be good. You know, there are things that we have to do as photographers to help the AI make our pictures even better. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a whole controversy, and I'm sure somebody's gonna like let me know that I'm off my rocker. That's fine. It's my opinion, and that's what I teach my kids. So, yay.
So how you're using technology in order to capture the organic and the natural things that you're seeing with your naked eye?
I have a really badass camera. I really like my camera. She's really technical and she's super cool. So there's so much in that camera that helps support me in what I'm doing, whether I'm doing nature, whether I'm doing people, whether I'm doing um, a concert in a very dark venue, volleyball in a very badly lit gym. So the way the technology has come, especially with what's called ISO, and that if you did film, it's like film speed, but it also is how much light you need in order to produce a good picture. That's a very simplistic version of ISO. The ISO in my camera is so phenomenal. I can shoot in a very dark room without a flash. And at concerts, you can't have flash, yeah, obviously. So it allows me now to be able to shoot in places I never could with a film camera. Even with, you know, high speed film, you can't get away with it. You can now, and it's really super. It makes me very happy. I hope I answered the question. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
how much you know about photography? Because I can understand you are into different events with this.
Um, hmm. I'm not sure how to answer that. Can you rephrase?
Because you are into concerts and you are into
Mhm.
weddings and you are into nature and you're capturing everything which
Mhm.
belongs to different things. So how much you understood totally about actually the
Okay.
photography is?
That's a good question. If I'm understanding you right, photography is broken down into composition. And it doesn't really matter what you shoot if you understand composition and have a good understanding about how to place things. The cool thing about photography, there's many cool things, but one of my favorite is if you understand the rules of composition, then you get to break the rules. And that's literally with everything with photography. If you understand your camera, you can force your camera then to do things that are wrong or, you know, maybe never seen before or odd, you know, that other photographers would never do. But that's the beauty of our industry, is that we are allowed to break the rules after you know the rules. And sometimes you break the rules before you know the rules, and it gets weird. But composition is something that I can use when I shoot weddings, families, engagements, babies, concerts, landscape, macro, you know, flowers, anything. It's just where do I want to set it? And I am a true believer. There are technical photographers and there are more emotionally charged photographers. I'm a little of both. Probably when I'm out shooting, especially landscape, it's more emotional. So I really go on instinct now. I know my gear, which is really helpful because once you know your gear, you can have more freedom to feel. I don't know if that makes sense. If people out there have taken acting classes, once you know your lines, you can let the character go. It's really hard when you don't know your lines to be able to be in character, but once you do, you can really allow that character to take you become alive. It's the same with photography and any art. Once you know the dance steps, once you know what I mean, once you know your craft, you can really let go of then the technical, be in the moment and really feel, because obviously when it comes especially to nature, people are easy. They're feeling all the time. We can snap a picture even with this and say, hey, we can see how you're feeling. But with nature, to be able to express the feelings I felt at that moment when I shot that photograph, it's really important. There's got to be a why. And I'm really hitting my kids with that this semester, is what is your why? We go out and snap, and we snap, 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 but we never stop and go, why am I taking this photo? What am I trying to say? What is my point? And if we would just stop and think about that, you'd get a better photograph. Even with this, you know, why am I shooting my friend right now? And it doesn't have to be this long, sit down because you're missing the moment. You know what I mean? If your friend's being goofy, well, that's why. You know what I mean? And you want to take that picture. But really start thinking about, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What is my purpose? What is my point? What am I trying to say here? And it really does, especially in nature. It really will come across, or animals, or whatever, macro. You can tell if you put two photographs up of somebody that just snapped a snapshot and somebody who really sat down and thought about their why. You can see it. We see it on Instagram all the time. Scroll by, whoa, something makes you stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that
And
feeling.
how good you are in conveying the situation or the emotions that you capture with your pictures.
I don't know. I guess you'd have to look at my photos and tell me. I think I'm all right. That's really subjective. That's up to the viewer. I get some love. I feel all right. I'm in business. So I feel like I do okay. It's hard because that's really your job. You know what I mean? You got to tell me. I think I love my work. I'm a little biased.
So what your users, I mean people who used your service, what they say about your skills and your artwork?
The best thing a person can say is to hire me again. That's the biggest compliment. I have not. I've gotten a lot of love. I have not gotten. I'm kind of scared to say it because I'm afraid I'm going to hex myself. But I've not had anybody come to me and say, "Well, I hate your work and I want a refund." So that's good. Um, I just saw a video that I showed my kids, they're young adults, that I showed my students, and he made some really good points. He said, this photographer said, the product that we're selling, because there are two distinct classes of, I don't know, class is the wrong word, but two distinct different types of photographers. You're technical and you're emotional. And a lot of us get really into the technical. We can, if you put up a photo, my class, we can tell you what's wrong with it, and we're really good at it, and that's the technical side. But it doesn't matter, because I made them think about what is their favorite picture. And not one of them technically is great. It's because, like we had talked about, the emotion. It's the emotion that was brought up at that particular moment. And that guy that I showed the video said, your product is the emotion and the experience. It's not the technical. It's how did they feel with you? How did you make them feel? And he said, women tend to be stronger at that. Of course, some men too, because these are all very wide generalizations. But because we're nurturing, moms and aunts, and you know what I mean, usually with the family, we're good at getting you to feel warm and fuzzy, where some men are very good at that too. But men tend to be more technical, where we tend to be more emotional, just because of human nature. It was a really interesting video, and I was really happy to show my kids, because we forget what our product is. We get so into the technical, and how can I posing. It's all about the posing. Oh, and it's not. It's about the experience, because if you can make your person feel comfortable and welcome and loved, they're going to automatically start posing for you, where it's just a little bit of lead, like, hey, just tilt your head over there. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. You know what I mean? But if you're relaxed, you're gonna do it. And I don't know how to communicate that to my students, because they get so uptight about, I have to pose. I'm like, you don't though. I mean, you do, but you got to focus more on making them feel comfortable. I hope that answered the question. I feel like I went off. I do that.
Yeah.
Professor, that's what I do.
So change is constant in the
Yeah.
nature, and you are capturing things, and you're making people to see something that happened in the past. So are we, as I'm talking, gender about photography, are we
Yeah.
doing crime in capturing everything that happened before?
Oh, wow. I don't know how to answer that. I just taught a lesson about this week. I don't think I want to go down that road. I get pretty passionate and pretty I miss my calling. I really wish I would have been a photojournalist, and I really wish I would be, like, right now I really want to be in Ukraine. or in somewhere that's having a really difficult time, because I feel like those are the stories that are most important to us to capture for history, for time. And I do get pretty, what's my word? I have justice issues. That's my word. When I see injustice, I feel like I need to fix it. And I'm really sad that I did not do that. I would have, and it's not too late. I still can. I know, and I'm working on it. Um, but yeah, I really wish I would have gone down that road where I could have been a war correspondent or a photojournalist in war or desperate issues. So I could have made a bigger difference. I feel like I missed out, and I'm disappointed in myself for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're being creative with the photography, and also you are explaining that creativity as a professor to the students.
Hmm.
So which one you like, and what is the difference?
Between
Uh,
my
for
photography and what I teach them,
Yeah.
is that what you're asking? That's a good question. It depends on the class. For example, I taught food photography. I am not a food photographer, but I can teach it because I understand the principles, and I brought people in and gave them experiences out in restaurants where they can get especially the people who want to do that. It's obviously best to have a food photographer in there, but like I took a class, I learned how to do it, and then I go and show them. My strengths are portrait and landscape, location, photography, and events. And so I'm lucky enough to have had the experience to teach all of those. So that is what I do. So that is what I'm allowed to teach. Um, I teach them about getting jobs and what they need to do when they get a job. A lot of my students want to start their own businesses. A lot of my students already have their own business. So I talk a lot about when you graduate, where's your client base? Right now, your client base are your friends, which is great. But when you graduate, what are you going to do now for marketing? And they're like, what? You know what I mean? So it's like, and I brought in an accountant to one class because they all had their own business. It blew my mind. They all have their own business, but they've never really paid attention to taxes. Well, that in our country is very important, and in our state. So I'm like, so I brought in an accountant because they're like, what do I? I'm like, I don't know. Let me bring in an accountant. I don't want to tell you wrong. So I will bring in people when they want something. I will bring in a professional to help them understand things that I do not. And that's the beauty of education. As long as I can get a hold of somebody that knows, more than me, that's my job, is help you, get the answers that you want. I can help you set up your business. I can help you photograph better. I can help you with the technical. I cannot help you get over your fear. Artists are really interesting people. I can help you if you're willing to get over your artist fear. A lot of us as artists get really into our own heads and have a really hard time accepting we're artists, and the self-promotion is incredibly hard for a lot of artists. I can help you get over that if you're willing, but it's that I have found is what's the word I want? It's a cycle every artist has to go through. It's kind of an ebb and flow where you're going to be really down on yourself, and you're going to have those days where you want to put your camera up. I'm 53 years old. I have those days. So I understand that. And I don't try to tell my students it doesn't happen, because that's not real. And I don't try to set them up um, for anything that's not real, because that's not fair. So when they ask me a business question, I tell them what I know, and that's what I can do. And if that's not acceptable to them, or if they need a different answer, like I said, I'll find somebody who can help them, because that's the beauty of education. But I don't want to set them up ever for, oh, once you're a photographer. Like the other day, oh dear God, I don't think they'll watch this. I lost 53 years old. I've done several weddings. I'm good at it. I did deliver. They're beautiful. They love them. But and I delivered 2 days ago. So on the weekend, I couldn't find a section of photos. I could not find them. I know I took them, but I could not find them. So I looked. 1 second. I have visual aids.
Sure.
I looked on all of my cards. I'm like, I know I have to have them. I know they're here. Could not find them, could not find them, could not find them. Finally, I had to walk away. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? So you feel sick to your stomach, and now I got to figure out, I got to tell my client I lost these photos. this is insane. What did I do with them? Because what happens is when I come home from a shoot, I put them on. I literally have behind this very happy computer, I have 3 external hard drives that I back up all your photos on. So I have them on Lightroom. I have them on external hard drive 1, 2, and 3. I could not find them. I could not find them. So I'm just like, I have to step away from here. I left. The next morning I came in, literally a card, and I was looking for something completely different. I put in a card. There they were. And so I share these stories with my students so they know that this is real life. People think photography is this glamorous, lovely, beautiful job. We're out there shooting models. It can be, but there's also the reality of what really goes on behind the scenes. And sometimes losing photos is one of it. So we talk about, if you lose photos, what do you tell your client? How do you address it? Because sometimes that's real. Sometimes these little suckers, they go bad. And you have no idea until after the shoot. That's fun. I've not had that happen, thank goodness. But or else you lose it, or oh dear God. And every mistake in photography I have made. My first formal photography class, my professor came up to me and said, Beth, this was film. He said, Beth, you have made every mistake my students in the last 13 years have made in one semester, and you are still here. What grade do you want? I'm like, a B? He's like, you got it. So photography is about making mistakes and fixing your mistakes. I think I went off. I don't know if I answered the question again. I did it again.
Yeah, you did. So,
Okay.
yeah. And what motivates you, or what drives you to uh, catch your camera and capture something?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a really great question. What does? Um, People. I'm driven to shoot different things with people because, like you said, the memories. Because I'm the mom. I have one daughter, and I'm always behind the camera. I have very few pictures of me and my daughter, and I don't ever want that to happen to another mom. So that's a big driving force, or any family member. With grandparents, they don't ever want to be in the pictures, and I'm trying to teach them. I'm coming up with ways to teach them that without sounding morbid, but when you go, we need those pictures of you. We treasure those. We want those. We think you're beautiful, and we want those photographs. And that's really hard for people because a lot of people don't like being in front of that camera. It's like public speaking. Nobody wants to give that speech. They'd rather die than give that speech. It's the same with photography. I had grandparents a couple months ago. They wanted pictures of the grandkids, and I'm like, well, you have to be in them too. And they're like, no, no, no. And I'm like, those little girls are gonna want to know you because they're 3. The girls were 3, and the grandparents are in their 70s. And I'm like, they're gonna want these pictures of you. And they both looked at me and went, oh. And they did. They complied, and they looked beautiful, and they are beautiful. And it kills me because we're so hard on ourselves, and I'm the worst critic of myself, just like we all are. But we are so beautiful. Like, I have literally never had any client come and break my camera because, they're not attractive. Ever. I see the beauty in you. I would love to do a photo shoot with you. You've got such great skin, and your face, and your smile, and your eyes, the light in your eyes. You are fantastic. Like right now, this is what we do. When we see you, we're like, oh, I see it. Oh, I want to go. Oh, hey, I want to do a shoot with you. It's what we do because we see the beauty in you. And what's really awesome about photography, my students ask me a lot, we're saturated. There's too many photographers. Well, I disagree. I think there's room for everyone because your personality isn't going to go with every photographer. You're going to find the person who clicks with you. And I shoot the way I see you. And if we had 6 photographers right here, they all would shoot you differently because we all see you differently. How are we oversaturated? You know what I mean? How you find the person who shoots you the way you love, and you're good to go. And I don't think we'll ever run out of photographers. I just don't, because we all see differently. I could take 10 photographers to the Grand Canyon, and you're going to get 10 completely different perspectives on the Grand Canyon. It's just the way it goes. And what's cool is if photographers would be awesome and we'd work together, we could all get better together. That's how I roll. I went off
So
on another tangent.
yeah, you give. So, giving answer from, I mean, picking question from what you have said, about 70 plus years old grandparents with
Mhm.
grandchildren.
Yeah.
So when these grandchildren become 70 years old, they will see and they will take, pictures of their grandchildren. So that
Yes.
will be something that is very insightful if they
That's a
put
very
pictures together.
that's a cool perspective. And I never thought of it that way, but yeah, they will. They'll be more open to it, I hope. That's brilliant. Because that meant so much to them. Love that. Look at you. Knew I
But
liked
you're
you.
you're doing it actually. You are, that the value of that photo,
Yeah.
becomes, people will know about that, the picture value after 70 years, and you will be the reason for that value.
Well, that means a lot, and that's quite a responsibility.
Yeah.
But that's all good. I treasure it.
So when you're capturing something, do you think that these things are going to be, seen by grandchildren or the next generations? So when you're doing that, how responsible you feel?
Oh, very. Every I take every family photo shoot very, very seriously because these are that's what's going in the book, in the photo album or wherever they store their photos. And I like to talk to my clients ahead of time to get to know who they are and understand their values so that I can, for that time, match that and try to give them the best possible experience that they have. So that when they look back on these pictures, they laugh and they remember the goofy times. When I take a family out, can you hear my dogs? I hope you can't hear them. I'm sorry if you can. I don't know if they're freaking out. Sorry. I have a lot of, we rescue dogs too, is what we do. Um, I take it very seriously because I make sure that I talk to my families. Like I was saying, sorry. When I take a family out, yes, it's posed. Yes, we get them all nice for the frame. But I let them know this is a day of play. We're gonna go throw leaves. We're gonna go play. I'm just here. You're gonna forget I'm here, and I'm gonna just watch you have family fun and see you as a family because that's what you want to remember. Those are the pictures that most moms and dads love. And the kids, as they grow up, they're like, oh my gosh, look what I did, and this is, oh, I was so little, and those are the moments I think that are so precious. The sit up straight and the turn to the right and the posed look is lovely, and there's a purpose for that too. But we usually remember, especially with families with toddlers, that the toddler was screaming 2 minutes before and that we were trying to get the hair straight and mom wants us all to behave and dad was mad before we came, and that is really hard to overcome at those very, the at the very posed, we're going to do family photos. So that's why I say, look, let that go before we do it. I'm like, let it go. We're going to look the way we're going to look. We're going to look great. I'll make you look good. Don't worry. You come and we're going to have fun. And that seems to help lighten up the family before the shoot because I don't know about you, but I know when my mom told us it was family time, it was more stressful than getting ready for church because you had to like, don't move, don't. And so everybody was upset, everybody was stressed out, everybody was, that's my memory of family pictures. And I don't want my families to feel that. And if they are stressed out, I tend to take them for a walk and I start to crack jokes, which don't usually go well, like because they look at me and are annoyed, and I make a fool of myself in order to help them get off whatever's in their head. And then I start with the kids because usually they're the easiest because they forget and they're like, ah, so we shoot them, and then mom and dad usually kind of lighten up and relax because those pictures you don't want to remember. Mom's gonna beat my butt, figuratively, of course. Yeah, so it's a huge responsibility. Weddings stress me out to no end. Weddings are probably wedding and families. Yeah, but I love it, so I keep doing it. Apparently, I like stress. I love it.
So as a photographer, what do you say about AI, artificial intelligence?
I like
What
it.
Yeah, what AI cannot do that you are doing.
AI can't take your photo. AI can't take your photo with your friends at your big life moments, at the big milestones, at graduation, at a job promotion, at a wedding, at a anniversary, at all the big milestones of first babies, second babies, third babies, kids, kindergarten graduation, school, big life achievements, awards. AI can't take that photo. AI can do a lot of things, but it can't take your life and get the essence of you. It can't do that. It can help me make the essence of you look better. Love that, but it can't take you. And I think that if any, maybe the part of photography that's going to take a hit is advertising, landscape. I was so. Have you seen those photographs of lighthouses where the huge wave is coming? That's all fake. I didn't know that. It broke my heart. I'm like, how? I would sit here and this was a while ago, so give me some credit. But I'd sit there going, how? Because I lived in Michigan for a long time. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to get one of these amazing, amazing photographs, right? So I'd go out in the storm and I'm like, how are they doing this? And then a friend of mine, a very wise photographer friend, obviously, goes, that's Photoshop. I'm like, oh, oh. It's already been done. You know what I mean? And people have it up on their walls and they don't think about it. They don't, So I think it'll continue to go in that route to make amazing landscape. But people are going to want to go to that landscape. Instagram. We all now want to go to where, and it's not real. So I don't know how that will play. Do we want to live in a fantasy world? I don't know. That's, what I mean? That's going to be something to be seen. Are we going to want pictures on our walls of what we wish we could go to? Or I don't know. I think this world's pretty amazing. And there's a lot of places I haven't been that I want to go to and photograph. I would rather go there and make the effort. The name of my business is Adventure Photo Studios because I'm a go girl and I go hike and I go to hard places because it's worth it to me. That's part of the fun. I'm not
Yeah.
scared of AI. I think AI is going to be neat. I think it's going to be fun.
So as a photographer, you can find out which one is real and which one is not real. So how normal people can find it, or normal people can know that they will believe that that is true.
Correct, and that's the hard thing. It's all about education, isn't it? I'm doing that in a class right now. One of my classes that I'm teaching, we're gonna do that for a final assignment. Make an AI photo, make a real photo, and take it around campus and do an interview. Which one's real? And how do you know? And it's all about critical thinking. And some people just don't care, and that's okay. I don't I don't know, but it's all about education, and it's all about how aware do you want to be as an individual of what's real, what's not real. And it's hard right now. A lot of different things in our world is real, not real, and it's getting tougher and tougher. So it'll be
Yeah,
an interesting ride.
yeah, I just bought this topic because I'm a technologist. I'm very curious about these things. And
Yeah,
recently, the world experts, the world top technology leaders have, had a meeting. Elon Musk and Mark
yeah,
Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. They are talking about how we are going to, use AI and what are the
yeah,
things that needs to be done in order to give, the organic things to the humanity, not if AI should not affect actually the real things. So that's what Elon Musk is actually warning from long time. Also, a lot of leaders from long time are actually warning this, and actually this is affecting today. Also on YouTube, on social media, on Instagram, it is very hard for people to find and know which one is actually the real one.
it
So
is.
where we are going, doing this and, working on, what do you say? There will be a lot of AI experts who will be watching this conversation and listening to this conversation. They can be from Microsoft or Google or Facebook. What do you
Yeah.
say to them? Because you capture real, natural things, and these
I,
people are working on something which is not real.
I don't really get to say anything because when I post on those, they own my stuff, so they're telling me, which is frustrating. I'm very much an advocate for fair use and for paying artists for their work. So that part of AI is frustrating to me, especially for writers right now. And like with the movie industry, if I say to the AI, I want to see a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Christian Slater on a beach in Hawaii, and I want it to be a con type movie, and then boom, there it is. I mean, how is that fair to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Christian Slater? You know what I mean? To be able to, it's not, and it's copyright infringement. And I'm a huge advocate for the copyright. Obviously, I'm a photographer. I don't want people stealing my photos. Yeah, there's definitely got to be some, and it's what's going to be very interesting, I think, is to see how the world comes together to create, I don't know if the right word is laws or whatever restriction of how we're all going to use this AI, and how are we going to protect our artists? Are we going to protect our artists, our musicians, and our painters, and our writers, and our photographers, and our actors? And the writers, to me, is the most scary, because that's going to be the easiest on one way to prove, but the hardest. Because if you just say to the chatbot, hey, write me a paper of, they're stealing from everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's so powerful, but creepy and not cool, because that's totally copyright infringement. And if you wrote that, wouldn't you be mad? Wouldn't you want, you know what I mean? Wouldn't you want to be paid? It's so hard. It's so gray right now. It's exciting. I think it's really exciting. So in technology, how do you feel about it? Do you feel it's copyright infringement, or should it be just hey, let's all get in this pot and see what happens? How do you feel? Because you
Yeah,
have to have
there's
a different perspective.
no. I agree with a lot of points that you have said.
Okay.
Yeah, so there should be some monitoring, and there should be
Yeah.
a human need to put a security measures in order to save the actual, the real content, and which one belongs to which creator. So that's very important.
Yeah. I agree. Obviously, I'm an artist. I would, but yeah, that's awesome that you do, and that you're in technology, and that you understand and value the work of the artist. Thank you. That means a lot. Because I know not everybody in technology feels that way, and that's okay. That's what makes the world tick. It's going to be hard though, because how do we do a worldwide? You know what I mean? It's got to be worldwide. We're becoming so small as a world, which is great. I think that's so awesome. Like that we get to talk is so super sweet. Like this, where we would never have met before the internet. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just think it's so. I love technology, and I love the ability to be able to do stuff like this. This is so crazy. And Twitter. Okay, I mean X. I love X, because I get to talk to people all over the world and get to know what they're like and what their world is like. That I love it. I love it so much. So there's so much about technology I love.
So the artwork that you're doing, also the artwork that you're teaching to people, so the pictures that you have taken, so this is going to play, don't know which, how many people it reaches in next
Hmm.
generations. So are you sending any information to the next generations with your pictures? Like
I hope so.
we are like this, and we used to take, we used to marry like this, we used to take pictures like this in
That's
order
a
to.
great idea. I never thought of that. That's really brilliant. I don't do that. I know there are people out there who do document that.
I'm doing
That's
that.
really interesting. Huh?
I'm doing that
Are
on my
you?
channel. I'm on my channel. Actually, I'm documenting different countries' experts, capturing the video clips, interviewing like this, and on one platform. And I created a common platform. And my main intention is, don't know if, like you said, internet actually connected the countries. So why can't I use this technology, to combine everything and put on one platform, 100 countries on one platform,
I
and
have
maybe
goosebumps,
don't
man.
know.
That is so awesome. That is so cool. I would hug you right now. That is so awesome and so powerful.
So if don't know if there is there are other species on other planets. Don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe
Yeah.
there is a research going on. People think
Well,
that we are not alone on this,
the
in this
Pentagon just
universe.
said that
Yeah,
they're
in
here.
this universe.
So
If they find a planet called Earth, and if they find Beth photography and photos, and they will get an information like there are
Yeah.
species like this and doing something, and you're sending some information. Also, they'll see my videos, like they will know these many types of people are living on this planet. So don't know, that is completely hypothetical, but just thinking that I'm doing something which is going to give a lot of information to next 100 years or 50 years. I told this when I was talking with one of the top technology leader, vice president of Amazon Web Services. I asked him, so you are saving all this data in the data
Yeah.
centers in the global infrastructure in different countries.
Yeah.
So what about there will be a lot of natural disasters that will be happening, and we are saving all this data, photos, videos, all this data. Do you think that this is going to be alive for next 50 or 100 years? Do you think this is safe? And he said, we plan only for 5 years. We don't know what happens after that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Huh. That's shocking. I thought he'd have a different answer for sure. That's kind of scary
yeah,
because you would hope that that leader would have more vision. I'm really kind of
yeah.
disappointed. Well, good for you for having the vision and good for you for implementing it. That's fantastic. I love that.
So
I love it.
if we can put the same data in multiple sources, if we can lose one, we will still have another one. So it is good to have a backup copy of every content that we create, so that we don't need to feel bad when something goes wrong. So it's
That's
important
why
as a creator.
that's why I have 3 external hard drives on this computer. Yeah, I know. It only takes one time of losing stuff and you're like, "Oh, that can't happen again." I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh, you are doing such great things. Thank you. That's fantastic.
I have a question for you. Actually,
Okay.
you're doing this photography from quite a long time, and you are what do you feel when you see something that you have captured years ago today, if you're
Oh,
seeing that?
depends. Two things. Two things. One, usually the reaction is, "Oh, it was so terrible." Because of I know different things now and technology has advanced and things. So it's like, oh, I didn't like the composition, the lighting, the la la la. The other thing is, of course, like what we had talked about. Oh, good, she just broke in. That's my little Australian Shepherd. Excuse her. Um, she the other one is it takes me right back to that moment in time. So of course it's the memory and the good feels of whatever was going on at that time. Yeah. Yeah. But the critical side is always like, oh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. What are you gonna do? What do you do when you look back on your work? What do you
Uh,
think?
I actually feel like there is some other person who is doing these interviews. Like, when I see my interview that I've done 2 years ago with some Australian, seeing that
Yeah.
person, like I look really different, and my hairstyle is different, and the way
Yeah.
I'm talking is different, and the questioning is different. I can see there is change. The beauty
Yeah.
of this art, it can be photography or videography. You will see the difference, the present and the past. If you put both aside, you will understand something has changed. We are not same anymore.
Yeah. And if we can let go of the ego, it's quite beautiful, isn't it? If we're not so judgy of ourselves and we really look back
Yeah,
at, wow, that evolution was beautiful. So beautiful. And we all get so freaked out about change, but it's one of the best things that we have. It is the best thing because we just get better, you know? And yeah, if we can just let go of that ego and go like, dude, you were fine back then. That's what you knew. You were doing the best you had, but look at how you've grown. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's fantastic, right?
yeah, we are
Yeah,
traveling
yeah,
from the place
yeah,
where we
yeah,
started. So that's one, because you're doing this from years. I just wanted to ask this question.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, it's of course you get that critical side going, oh, but no, it's all beautiful because if I didn't take that photograph at that time, I wouldn't be here. Just like if you wouldn't have started that interview process back then, you wouldn't be here. and now doing what you're doing. Such great work. Global work. I love it.
So the topic came, just wanted to share something that I have actually, which is related to what we are talking. I interviewed one expert and asked, at the end of the interview, I asked the question called, if this video is saved in some storage device or in some data
Okay.
center or in some place, some person after 100 years trying to click this video and trying to see what we are
Yeah.
talking, what you want to say to that person, can you say?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Hello, I'm Beth. And man, rock out. And I wish I could see, and hopefully from wherever I am, all the great stuff you've taken this technology today, which we think is so mind blowing, and have just made it better. And man, just have a blast with it and don't take it for granted and do what you can and create. I think that's what I'd say. Just create and love each other, obviously, because that's kind of huge. Don't waste your time on the hate. It hurts. It creates wrinkles. Don't do that. Just love each other. Yeah.
So
How's
at last,
that?
about
Is that all right?
yeah,
All
yeah, that reached already. The person heard already.
right. Sweet. That's fantastic.
So what do you say to my audience who is listening to this conversation and watching you and me from anywhere on this planet?
I think that if you are an artist, you need to get over yourself, embrace it, love it, and get to know your best self. And again, the whole ego thing, let that go. This is to me just as much as to your audience and to whoever's watching, because it just wastes time. That ego gets in there, that negative self-talk, that I can't do it. Nobody's telling you no. Go, do, create, just and love each other. Was it one of our great persons on the planet said once, our job on this planet is to walk each other home. That's what we got to do. So while we create, remember to walk each other home. Take good care of each other. That's all we got to do. If we'd all just take care of each other, what a world we live in, huh? Yeah. Dom Ross, I think believe it was Dom Ross.
That's great.
Yeah.
So at last, what is your observation about my work, me talking with different country people, and more than 600 interviews I have done from 100 countries in
I
last
love
three
it.
years. So how is
I
this?
think I think what you've done is really broken some really cool barriers, and I hope you keep doing it because it helps everybody have a better understanding of what's going on outside of their neighborhood, which I think is so absolutely vital and huge. And I hope you continue, and I hope the best for you, and I hope I get to reappear someday. And I just think this is the coolest thing ever. That's what I think. And I love your questioning. I love your personality. I think you're so fun. And yeah, you just keep rocking, keep doing your thing.
So I did masters in software engineering and bachelors in computer science and engineering. Right now I'm doing some DevOps engineering and software development projects for a UK company remotely.
Yeah.
And these interviews I'm taking, that is my full-time job. These interviews
Yeah.
that I'm doing actually to taking a responsibility as a human being and want to give something very valuable to the next generation people. So this is something that I'm doing. So how this is going to helpful for me in my career, also in my life, talking
You
with
want me to answer
various
that for
people.
you?
Yeah.
You're doing it. You're doing it. You're spreading good joy and goodwill, and you're allowing people to see people from different parts of the country so that we understand each other better. Rotary is a global organization, and they believe that it is very hard to have an argument or hate somebody who you eat dinner with, and that's why we have global exchanges. Like we have international exchanges so that we can get to know people. And what's cool is for those people who can't afford Rotary or can't be involved in something like that, this allows for that. This allows somebody to get to know somebody from another country in another part of the world. It's hard to be mad at somebody when you get to know them and you crack jokes and you know what I mean? And I think this world really needs that. And I think you're doing that one person at a time. And it's the only way it can happen is one person at a time. Because if you, I mean, I guess it can happen, but this is the most effective way because we get to know each other and we get to know, oh, guess what? We're not that different. And we can come together. And what you're also doing is you're doing such an amazing job of networking that when you have somebody on and they need XYZ, you're like, oh, I got that person for you. Hold on a minute. So you are literally bringing the world together on many different levels. And I'm excited to see what happens in another year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, because with what you're doing is such a huge asset to the world. I can't even, it kind of chokes me up a little because it is so beautiful. Because like I said, you can't get angry with somebody when you know what I mean? It's relationship building, and that's what we really need in this world right now. And I just think it's awesome. As like every fiber of my being, it's just incredibly awesome that you would take the time to do this because you don't have to. Your job keeps you plenty busy. Yeah, you're a
I'm
rock
feeling
star.
very, I'm feeling very happy that another artist from another part of the world is observing value in something that I'm doing. So that makes me feel really, really happy.
Yeah, and people are going to continue to do so. So, you know, it's powerful. It's pretty rad.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Of course,
Uh,
of
And also,
course,
can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
of course.
So,
Yes.
you want to share your web links, websites, the service that you are doing to my audience, your online presence.
Yeah, I'd love that. Thank you. That was very generous. Instagram is Adventure Photo Studios. That's my website, my Instagram, Facebook. I'm Beth with an exclamation point. Same with Twitter/X. It's Adventures Photo Studios. Come follow me and let's have some good times.
I'll put those links on the screen. People who find
Thank,
the video on YouTube or anywhere in the internet can able to see the work that you're doing and also can
thanks,
take your
man.
service.
All right. Thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
So keep going, keep doing the great work and give great memories to as many families as possible.
Right on. And you do the same. You keep talking to individuals and you're creating world peace, my friend. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you for your time again and
Thank you. It's been
yeah,
an
take care.
honor. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.